Welcome back to Prospect Spotlight, okay? I picked last episode, my prospect was Tony Martin. This episode, it's Nathaniel Wood at UFC London. Last episode, it was Tony Martin. He goes on to win against Sergio Moraes, unanimous decision, all 3 rounds. I'm 100% correct with my prospect spotlights, okay? I'm looking to keep that 100% this week with Nathaniel Wood. He's my prospect, and what better prospect to have than the guy whose nickname is literally Nathaniel the Prospect Wood. He has it even on his gum shield, so I had to pick him. And I'll be keeping an eye on him a lot as well. Keeping a really good eye on him, because, listen up, he comes into the UFC, he's killing shit, okay? He's killing shit, he's beating everyone, he goes on like a 1, 2, 3, 4... with 5 win streak, all TKOs and KOs and 1 submission. The UFC sign him. He comes in, he beats Johnny Eduardo. Johnny Eduardo's a veteran of the game. He's lost some in the UFC. He's also won some. But either way, he's got like 40 fights. So, he's a veteran of the game. And Nathaniel Wood comes in, beats him, submits him in the second round with a Bravo choke, Tony Ferguson style. And, yeah, looks sensational. In the first round, he faced some adversity as well, which is what I like when I'm picking these prospects, because I need to see them face some adversity. What happened in the first round was he got stung by a shot from Johnny Eduardo, and he looked a bit rattled. He backed up against the cage, he covered up, boom, boom, Johnny Eduardo's fucking unloading vicious punches on him, vicious, and he showed us, and showed the fans, and showed me, that he doesn't have the Cody Garbrandt retarded gene. He doesn't have the retard gene anymore. You know? And that's good. I like to see that, because if he was Cody Garbrandt and he was taking those shots, he would have just been swinging right back. But no. He was eating shots, he was hurt, and he was looking to clinch. He was watching, he was trying to just escape a few more shots, you know, get his wits about him. And then eventually Johnny Eduardo thought, okay, this guy isn't hurt anymore. I'm going to give him some space. I'm not going to get too risky. And they both backed up. And then in the second round, Johnny Eduardo made the mistake of shooting for a takedown after Nathaniel hurt him, or Nathan. I'll just call him Nathan, because, you know, we're boys. We're boys like that. He literally lives, like, 40 minutes away from me. So, you know, we're basically family. Johnny Eduardo shoots for a takedown. He submits him immediately. Nathaniel Wood is taking on Jose Alberto Quinonez, El Terrore. And he's had his own little run. I'm looking at his thing. He got signed off of a TKO loss at 0 minutes, 0 seconds into the first round. I have no idea what that was, but he got signed because of that. So that's the first time I've ever seen a guy get signed to the UFC off of a loss, and then he gets signed to the UFC and loses again. But since then, he's on a 4-fight win streak, gets a submission, and then he's on 3 wins in a row. One name you'll recognise that he beat last was Teruto Ishihara, another member of Alpha Male, you know? Because Alpha Male are just not doing too well right now. But what I'm seeing is not a lot of finishing ability in Jose Alberto Quinonez. There's not a lot of crack to his punches, you know. In the Teruto Ishihara fight, I rewatched it a while ago. He gets hurt, he gets dropped every now and again, but Teruto just fucking Cody Garbrandts and messes up the finish. And, yeah, it's weird. They all seem to have that problem at Team Alpha Male. Anyway, I think Nathaniel Wood's going to get this done. And I don't know how he's going to get it done. That's the big question. I think he's going to get it done by KO. I'm seeing it now. I think he gets it done by TKO, KO. And I think it's in the first round. I really do. I think it's at the end of the first round. They go back and forth a bit, and then he just blitzes forward, gets the KO finish he's been looking for. Because he said it in his Octagon interview of his last fight, Nathaniel Wood. He came in, he said, listen, I'm not a ground guy, but these guys just end up on the ground with me, and I realise they have nothing. You know, like that. That's what he said in his post-fight speech. He said, I'm sorry for the booze, but I end up on the ground with these guys, and they just can't get back up. So I'm just going to stay there and keep beating the shit out of them. That's fair enough. I'm okay with that. And everyone knows who the crowd is when they're booing. They're just retards who've had a bit too much to drink and just want to see people die. You know, that's literally the only reason they're there. But yeah, Nathaniel Wood is my prospect for this week. I just like watching him fight. He's so good. Like, he's so patient. He doesn't get sort of aggy and aggressive with his finishes. If the finish isn't there, he'll back up. he'll sting guys with shots and then go back to an inside leg kick. You know, he doesn't headhunt for people. And I think Jose Alberto Quinonez, he's the older guy. He's 28 years old. Nathaniel Wood is 25 years old. And he's had a lot of fights. And also he's had some amateur experience as well. A lot of amateur experience. He had 3 fights in amateurs before he even went pro. And I think that's what you're going to see more often with these young guys coming up, is the amateur experience that they have is going to be vastly superior to anyone in the UFC at the moment. Because back in the day in the UFC, you just went pro. You didn't have any amateur fights. It's not like boxing where guys have like 300 amateur fights and then they decide to go pro just to make sure that their record's good enough. UFC back in the day, like Robbie Lawler, I guarantee you, just going pro. I'll go pro today. Just had a drink at a bar, knocked some guy out, and like, I guess I'll go pro in the UFC. You know, it's not like that now, and you're gonna see that with these young guys coming up. They have some amateur fights, and Nathaniel Wood has his amateur fights. He submits a guy in the second round with a guillotine choke. He gets a decision, so he knows he can go 3 rounds. Okay, then he submits a guy in the first round. So he gets a submission by a guillotine. He knows he can submit guys off top. He gets a submission by a triangle choke. He knows he can submit guys off bottom. Okay, I'm ready for pro now. You know? That's the mindset these young guys are going to have. And yeah, good record, 15-3 for 25 years old is very good. He's fighting at home. There's not a lot of hype behind him, although this video might create some hype. I just think he's my prospect. And his name is The Prospect, so it's perfect. And he also trains with Brad Pickett. What better guy to have in your corner? Brad Pickett holds a win over Mighty Mouse. Mighty Mouse, sorry, I don't know why I said it like that. Brad Pickett holds a win over Mighty Mouse. Brad Pickett's one of the best guys in the game. Obviously, it got to his time where these young up-and-comers started starching him. You know, the chin doesn't quite hold up like it once did. It happens to the older guys, and you got to move on. But what better guy to have in your corner? And also, Brad Pickett, he's not one of these coaches where he has a plethora of guys all around, like, what's his name? The guy who owns AKA. I can't remember his fucking name. It's Mexican. It's a Mexican name. Latino name. And I can't remember it. But he doesn't have, I'll spend some time with Khabib, I'll spend some time with DC, I'll spend some time with Luke Rockhold, and then I'll go back over here and spend some time with Luis Pena and all these other guys at AKA. Brad Pickett's got kind of like, okay, this is my guy, Nathaniel Wood. That's 100% of my time when he's in the gym. And that's good. That's very good. And I think Nathaniel Wood's going to get it done by KO in the first round. As good as Jose Alberto Torres is, this is the guy that was supposed to fight Sean O'Malley in at UFC 229. And it was basically like, we're just feeding this guy to Sean O'Malley. But now, since then, he's gone on. He's got a few wins. And I think he's going to lose. He's gone on 4 wins in a row, but none of them have been like, wow, this guy's amazing, you know? It's very beatable qualities, but then Teruto Ishihara, he trains with Team Alpha Male, so he was bound to lose because it's the shittest gym. It's the shittest super gym in the history of MMA right now. Not history, but present day MMA. Team Alpha Male, if you're there, jump ship and go somewhere else because their fighters are dropping like flies. Honestly, all they've got left is Cody Garbrandt, and even then, 3 losses in a row by KO. You know, it's just getting pretty rough for Team Alpha Male. And I think Nathaniel Wood's going to get this one done. So if you want to put your money on a young up-and-comer, he's bound to be the favourite. And also, something else to take into consideration, I don't pick these guys unless I have a very 90% sure chance that they're going to win. I'm 90% sure Nathaniel Wood's going to win this fight. Because he's been training for London. He knew he was fighting at London when he finished his last fight. He called for it on the mic. Listen, I missed Christmas for this fight. Give me a late present. Put me on that London card, he said. And I think he's going to get it done. Because he's been training for this fight. He knows he's on London. And he was looking for an opponent this whole time. And it just happened that it's going to be Jose Quinonez. You know? Like, it was announced like 6 weeks ago that it was going to be Jose Quinonez, whereas he's known about this fight for 10 weeks. So he's been training without a training partner, getting in shape. So he's in shape for camp, you know. That's what TJ Dillashaw likes to do. So he's learning from other bantamweights very clearly. TJ Dillashaw says this a lot. He says, I don't want to get into shape during camp. I want to be in shape and then start camp in shape. And that's, I think, the advantage that Nathaniel Wood's going to have in this fight. And I think he's going to get it done by KO in the first round. Let's see it happen. Good night, Jose Quinonez. I'm keeping my 100% correctness on this Prospect Spotlight show. And you'll have to find out next week who the next prospect is. I really need... If Nathaniel Wood is happening to watch this fight, you're from South London, I'm from South East London. Come on, bro. Don't embarrass me in front of all my viewers. All 2 of my viewers. Just please. I need this 100% streak. Thank you. And also, good luck. Like and subscribe, guys. Like and subscribe. We're in for some fun. Great fights this weekend. And that's good. I fucked it up with a fucking cringy outro now. I'm just going to end it. I don't even give a shit.